Calgary's new mayor is hoping to reset the relationship with the province, but says he's no pushover. Jeromy Farkas is determined to stand up for Calgary and says the priorities laid out in this month's budget are further proof. Once again, here's Tara Nelson with their year-end chat.
How are you approaching the relationship with the province? I mean, it has done a lot in the last few years to sort of insert itself into municipal business. The bike lane issue would be a good example. There may be a push to remove fluoride from our water following the UCP AGM. Do you think that the province is overstepping its boundaries? And as mayor, what are you doing to make sure that Calgarians' perspectives prevail in Calgary?
Well, I sought and earned a mandate to partner with the province when it made sense for Calgarians, but also be prepared to push back, but always on an issues basis, attacking the problem and not the person. I've been really grateful for the outreach that the Premier, as well as many provincial ministers, have made in the recent days since I've taken office. We're very committed to working collaboratively and better understanding where both sides are coming to a certain issue. The province may look at a certain issue and come to a certain judgment or decision, but if I can be at the table early presenting Calgary's case and presenting some of the considerations and the knowledge that we have here on the ground, I understand that the Premier is very open to hearing from us, and her previous statements are about driving local decision making and ensuring that there's a clear delineation between our respective responsibilities.
But it seems like sometimes there isn't. It seems like the province does insert itself into municipal business for Edmonton and Calgary.
I will never back down when it comes for fighting for Calgarians' interests.
Let's talk a little bit about all the things that came out of the budget. So you mentioned there the overall property tax increase going from 5.8 down to 1.6, but in part you were able to do that by canceling the planned tax shift from non-residential to residential properties. So what do you say to businesses at the end of this year who were expecting to pay less tax next year, not more?
So Council did the hard and thoughtful work of cancelling the tax shift because we needed to tackle the issue for everybody. It wasn't good enough to simply move the burden from one type of taxpayer over to a different kind and say the problem's solved. So we really went to work to be able to reduce the overall burden for everybody. And with the tax shift, the typical multi-residential property, somebody who may live in an apartment or condo, was set for a 20% tax increase because of that shift, with so much of the shift happening in 1 year. So Council undid the shift, but we brought down the overall rate for everybody down to 1.6. So it wasn't like the taxes were hugely increased on businesses because of that. We did the hard work to be able to reduce it for everybody. And we can't just pit residents against business owners. That's not how we run a city. We need to find a solution for everybody involved.
Now, to reduce the property tax increase, Council did tap into $50 million of investment income. Is using investment income and reserve funds something that you're comfortable doing?
So every year the city posts a surplus of between $200 $300 million from investment income. Our decision was to take the first $50 million of that investment income every year and apply it to the priorities specifically around public safety. So when we take a look at the new transit officers, the new police officers, the new firefighters, the equipment, that is where the first $50 million is being allocated for. I do acknowledge that it's increased spending, but I am happy to go to Calgarians and defend that spending is absolutely necessary right now when we think about the significant challenges that Calgarians are facing around social disorder, as well as the scale that the city is growing.
Let's talk about public safety spending. You've boosted public safety $94 million in targeted spending. So how and where will Calgarians actually see that money in action?
So they'll see it on regular transit officer presence, especially around peak service on trains near major stations. They'll see it in increased investments in maintenance for our police vehicles. They'll see it in an increase in staffing for administrative as well as frontline roles in our police service as well as fire department. And ultimately, they'll also see it in terms of essential infrastructure maintenance.
Is public safety one of the biggest issues for you? Does that sort of trickle down into everything else in the city?
Public safety is the issue. And it manifests in different ways in terms of homelessness, housing, in terms of affordability, where people can afford to live, whether they can afford to operate their business. If you do not have a safe city, nothing else matters. And that is squarely the responsibility of our mayor, our council, our local government. And that's why our council acted decisively to fund these investments.
Most politicians at this stage anyway sort of clearly identify where they are in the political spectrum, whether it's conservative or liberal. Where would you say that you're sitting right now?
Well, that was a big question on the election, and with the party politics, it just tried to force people to take sides, to take extreme positions, and like most Calgarians, I'm pretty difficult to put in a box. Fiscally responsible, socially live and let live, a lot of experience in the nonprofit sector. I ran an environmental organization, grew up in a refugee immigrant family, one of the first in my family to be able to finish high school, university. My story is Calgarian story, very difficult to put in a box, but more wanting to be judged based on your actions. I think that our city hall works best when we're practical, we're pragmatic, and we're focused on running the business of the city rather than getting into ideological debates about whether you're a liberal or conservative, because the whole point of being here is to fill the potholes. It's to clear the streets of snow. It's to make sure that everyone has clean drinking water coming out of our pipes. We're so busy doing that stuff that we don't have time to have these philosophical debates.
My final question, Mayor, is more of a curiosity.
Okay.
And I just feel like maybe there might be a story here. Your background is Hungarian.
Yes.
And yet you very often are wearing this tartan tie, which would be more Scottish. Is there something symbolic there or significant?
Well, this is actually the official City of Calgary tartan. So I am not Scottish, but it is my ability to be Scottish for the day. And I wear it on the days that I'm in a city council committee or a city council meeting. Today we have our audit committee, so this is my opportunity to wear the tie. It just seems like it's the only tie that I have because we're in so many meetings, but I do promise that I have other ties.
There you go. I think that is a little bit of information that many Calgarians probably didn't know. Mayor Farkas, thank you for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thank you, and wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and looking forward to continue to get together.